topic is Ayurvedic diet and lifestyle for summer. And the punchline, as you can see, let's turn the heat down. Now, in order to stay healthy, what should we do in summer? So first is diet. To follow a proper pitta-soothing diet is the key. Now, foods to avoid. What taste should we, or what qualities of food should be avoided in summer? First is pungent. But you know, if your pitta is off balance, you will naturally feel to have these things in summer. Like you want to have hot food, spicy food, like pickles and stuff like that, like sour food. But it's not healthy. Okay? So stay away from that. If your pitta is off balance, then you would definitely feel to eat all these things. But if your pitta is natural, normal, you wouldn't feel you won't feel to eat these tastes at all in summer. So first is pungent. Avoid sharp or spicy foods like ginger, garlic, radishes, chilies, spicy seasonings. Salty food, that is, for example, seaweed is naturally very salty, or like potato chips, like salty potato chips, or like very pitta. Sour foods that make your mouth pucker, like lemons, grapefruits, hard cheese, sour cream, even oranges. Hot, go for room temperature over warm, and mildly seasoned over spicy. Okay? So don't eat like hot, spicy food. Oily and dense food that is deep fried or rich, like medu vadas, batata vada, or like potato vadas and stuff like that. That's very, very pitta. Samosas, kachoris, that's like very pitta. Now, what food should we favor? So mostly like sweet taste food. Sweet not as in sugar, no sugar. Sweet as in carbohydrates are sweet in taste. So if you eat only, say for instance, if you make a whole tortilla or chapati and you just eat it plain, after you're done chewing it, you'll have like this natural sweet taste because carbs are naturally very sweet in taste. So such as fruits, vegetables, grains, and ghee. Ghee is very good during summer. Okay. Now, bitter taste like kale, kolar, dandelion, or bitter spices like fenugreek, methi seeds are very good. Astringent foods which make your mouth choppy, like spinach, turmeric, beans, apples, coriander, and dill, or even like pomegranate is astringent. It's very good for summer. Cooling things. So cucumber, watermelon, fruit juices, fennel, dill, coriander. Avoid ice or food straight from the fridge. This is a very natural instinct we do. We'll go to the fridge and drink cold water. What cold water does, so we have this digestive fire in us, right? If you pour cold water on fire, what is going to happen? It's going to be really weak and it won't be able to digest whatever you're eating. So Ayurveda never recommends drinking cold or ice cold water. And it's really sad, we live in Minnesota, even during winter months, people drink like ice cold water in restaurants. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't do that. You're like really hampering your digestive system. So even if you go out to eat somewhere or at home, if you're going out, ask them warm water or water with no ice. Even if you ask water with no ice, still it's very cold, the water they drink. If you're at home, at least drink room temperature water, or even the tap water is very cool in Minnesota. The regular tap water is very cool. So I usually tell my clients to drink warm water or room temperature water. And the fifth quality is light. So foods that don't overburden your digestive system. So mung beans are an example of light food. Mung beans or moong dal is very, very light to digest and is a very healthy source of protein. Now Agni, as I said, digestive fire is a strong source of internal heat. And what it does in summer is it will disperse throughout our body to keep our body temperature cool. And what happens during winter is this digestive fire goes within us, like inside us, and kindles our digestive fire a lot in order to keep us hot all the time during winter. Okay, if it's in the core, it will start heating up and keep our temperature regulated. If it disperses throughout the body, our body will remain cool, right? So if the digestive fire is not in the core, it will naturally go down, it will naturally become weak. So you will feel a big change in your hunger or your appetite as soon as summer comes in. During winter, you feel like eating all the time because your digestive fire is so lit up all the time because that heat goes inside and keeps that fire going. But during the summer, it doesn't happen that way. So maybe even if, like I've seen some people don't feel like eating meals at all, like they'll eat lighter meals during summer because their digestive fire is not that strong. So body will naturally crave light foods and smaller meals during summer. Okay? Now this is the best time to enjoy fresh fruits and vegetables. Okay? Because even the nature is in abundance this time and it's giving you a lot of things. So enjoy fresh fruits and vegetables more than eating processed food. Okay? More than eating canned or processed food. Ayurveda generally does not recommend eating raw food at all. Because what Ayurveda says, like salads or cold sandwiches are a big no-no in Ayurveda. Because what happens is your Agni is already weak and you're putting a lot of burden on your Agni to break down that food which is raw. So if you cook that food outside, your body becomes lighter to digest because it's half broken down. Right? So that's why Ayurveda says.
So what about people drink a lot of shakes, right? You put in vegetables and all that.
Smoothies. Oh my god, that's like a very big no-no in Ayurveda. So smoothies are not, I have seen some of my clients feel better only because of stopping smoothies. Like some of my clients used to drink smoothies every single day because they felt, wow, this is healthy, I'm getting a lot of vegetables and fruits inside me. But Ayurveda says no, because raw food, and on top of that, you're mixing so many things together. You're putting a lot of burden on your digestive system to break each thing down. Okay, and since it's raw, it takes a longer time to digest than digesting cooked food.
Isn't that, I mean, that's the premise, right? It stays longer as for people who want to lose weight. And that's the main thing, something that sits in your stomach for a little while. That's why people, I mean...
That's a very wrong concept, I'll tell you why. So, if you're drinking smoothies and your digestive fire is weak, right, what will it do? It will digest partially. It won't digest the smoothies completely, okay? And then it will be converted to digestive toxins. These digestive toxins are called ama, as I said. And this ama is similar to kapha or phlegm. So people think that if they drink smoothies, they'll lose weight, but it happens the other way. Because the ama is being produced a lot and people tend to put on weight if you drink smoothies.
But this would be in summer, but in winter, the fire is in the core is really strong, right?
Right, but then smoothies are, how are smoothies? Cold, thick, heavy.
They're
Heavy, cold, thick. So how they are similar to kapha. And your kapha will increase in winter if you drink smoothies. Okay? They might be digested a little better, but your kapha is going to increase because they're thick, heavy. Right? So smoothies, that's why Ayurveda says smoothies is not a good idea. Instead, Ayurveda says if you want to get those fruits and vegetables in, Ayurveda says first of all not to mix vegetables and fruits together. Fruits are meant to be eaten alone. Okay? Because the amount of energy required to digest foods is a lot less than the amount of energy required to digest vegetables. Right? So either of those will remain undigested, either the fruits or the vegetables. Okay? and then the digestive toxins will be created. So that's why Ayurveda says eat fruit alone, either keep 1 hour distance between your meals at least while eating fruits, so it's separate. And if you combine vegetables of a similar quality, so leafy greens together, or like hard vegetables, so fruit vegetables together. So that will be a lot more easier to digest and combining fruits and vegetables. It's like a very complex food, what Ayurveda says. Okay?
So the question is there a difference between eating, say, same fruit or making smoothie out of it and eating it and drinking it?
Mm-hmm. So whenever I say, he asked me that is there a difference between eating only fruit and making smoothies out of it and drinking fruit smoothies, only fruit smoothies. So whenever I tell people eating fruit by whole is always better because it gives you a lot more fiber in. If you're making smoothies, try to combine fruits of similar qualities together. So pears and apples together. These are from the same group. Or berries together. These are from the same group. Don't combine apple, berries, bananas. These are like, it becomes too much like complex to digest. Best is to be eaten by fruit as a whole. Ayurveda doesn't recommend to juice or to make smoothies of the fruit because as a whole, it's a lot more healthier than drinking smoothies. Okay? Now, Ayurveda also says that this is a great time to indulge in sweet dairy products such as milk, butter, ghee, cottage cheese, fresh homemade yogurt, or even ice cream on occasion.
That's good.
On occasion, it's on occasion. All unrefined sugars except honey and molasses are cooling in nature and can be enjoyed in moderation during the summer months. Even like regular raw cane sugar, which is non-processed, like organic raw cane sugar, unprocessed one is good.
So is that the same as jaggery that we get?
Jaggery is very heating. No, it's not same as jaggery.
Because in India we eat a lot of jaggery.
Right, not during summer though, you should not, because jaggery is very heating in nature. Instead, you should prefer our rock sugar. You know rock sugar?
I don't eat any sugar.
Okay, so it's like khada sugar, it's called. It's bigger chunks of sugar and it's unprocessed. So that is very cooling in nature, so you can eat that during
It's
summer.
called rock sugar.
Rock sugar.
In Hindi, it's called mishri. Mishri.
Yeah,
So
mishri.
you can get it like at puja store.
Yes.
Yeah, or
Sometimes they give it as a prasad also.
Yeah.
So it is called,
yeah.
if I go there, it's called mushroom.
Oh, it's like sakar.
Oh, sakar.
Like sakar.
Okay.
It's like sakar, but it's like big chunks of sugar.
Yeah, chunks.
So that's better. Ice drinks are best avoided, as I said, they disrupt the fire and create toxins. And avoid coffee, tea, and carbonated drinks. I see people's faces going, oh my god, coffee, tea, how did I avoid that? It's like drugs, isn't it?
No, I
It's
think
very
it's
difficult to stay away from. But coffee and
Corporate
tea.
America runs on those.
What was that?
Corporate America runs on those.
I know.
That's
I
why
know.
Starbucks is so
Starbucks, Caribou, like all those. Well, I don't want to name companies here, but
No, they make money, right? I mean, it's
yeah, but that's how it goes.
But tea with, if you make with cream and sugar, like the way we make it
Yeah.
in India, is that okay?
no.
Tea, that's not a problem how you make it. The tea leaves themselves are very stimulating. So why do people take tea? Because you have this kick, right? You can get your day going because it makes you charged up. So how is that quality? It's a sharp quality, similar to pitta, right? It will make you go going and it is very heating in nature. Tea and coffee are very hot in nature. That's why I really recommend to stay away from them during summer.
How about decaf?
Decaf is fine once in a while, but it's still coffee. right? Even if it doesn't have caffeine in it, it's still coffee. So coffee naturally is very heating. So the beans, like the coffee beans, even if the caffeine is removed from them, they're naturally very heating in nature. So
it
the
doesn't matter if it is warm because you're supposed to drink warm water, right? Not cold.
right, warm water, not warm coffee. Coffee, the beans, coffee beans are very
How about things
aggravating.
like green tea?
Green tea is
very
awesome.
yummy.
Green tea is very yummy.
So now should that be, because there is some of, I mean, there is.
It has
caffeine.
caffeine. It has very little caffeine, so that won't bother you.
So, because that's what I drink is a lot of green tea.
Green tea is absolutely fine. Green tea is very
Because
healthy.
now you can get that combination.
Right, right. So green tea is very good. Yeah. Even Ayurveda recommends drink green tea, but like actual tea or coffee is very, very aggravating. Like it will just not let you sleep. It's very, very stimulating. Okay?
What other herbal teas are good in summer?
I'm going to come to it.
Okay.
Now, vegetables to favor and fruits to favor. What should you eat? I'll just read it around and then I'm going to give the slides to you. You can put it out. Artichokes, asparagus, beet, greens, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, celery, chard, collard greens, cucumbers, green beans, kale, lettuce, okra, potatoes, watercress, and zucchini. These are good vegetables to eat during summer.
How about eggplant?
Eggplant is very vata aggravating. So let me tell you, this is a very good question. There are 4 vegetables called a group of nightshade vegetables. Have you heard about this? So there is a group called nightshade vegetables. Anywhere there is inflammation in your body or anything is burning in your body, you have to stay away from these 4 vegetables. Eggplant is first on the list. Tomatoes.
I thought tomatoes are supposed to be so good for you.
No, if there is inflammation, tomatoes are very similar to pitta. They're red in color. What is red? Red is hot. So tomatoes are sour again. They're again pitta aggravating. So tomatoes is Arabic no. Whenever there is inflammation or anything is burning in the body. White potatoes and bell peppers.
All colors or just
All
red ones?
colors. All colors. Okay? And I've seen these 4 are the most widely used, or rather than eggplant, not eggplant, but like the other 3 are most widely used vegetables. Like even in Indian cooking, we put tomatoes in everything, like all the sabzis and all everything. So it's better to stay away from these 4 vegetables if there is anything going on in your body.
How
How
about
about lemon? Oh, sorry.
Lemon. Lime is better than lemon for summer because it's cooling.
But no, if you have inflammation, arthritis.
Oh, inflammation, no, then lemons are not good.
Because they say lemon is supposed to help inflammation.
Lime would. Lemon won't. Because lemon will increase the pitta. How is lemon? Lemon is yellow. So this is very interesting. Every food has its own color and it's similar to each dosha, right? So green is a cooling color. How do you feel when you look at a dark green color, like lime? How do you feel? You feel cooling, right? And how do you feel when you look at lemons? Lemons are hot and like yellow, right? Hot as in not hot to touch, but like hot as in nature. So that's why they're sour. Limes are not that sour compared to lemons.
So then apple cider vinegar, the organic one, they say it's so healthy for you.
Yeah,
Instead of lemon, they say,
apple cider vinegar is good, but not like on everyday basis because again vinegar is fermented and it's sour. So in little quantities here or there is fine, but not on everyday basis.
how about Karela?
Bitter gourd is good.
How about
That's-
onions? Onions?
Onions, I told you the earlier list, right? Onions are very, well, if they're cooked, they're fine. Eating raw onions are not recommended.
So tomatoes, even if they are cooked, because I have osteoarthritis.
Tomatoes, even if they're cooked, they're very aggravating. But here or there are fine. If you're putting tomatoes every single day in your sabzi, then that's not recommended at all. Tomatoes, say for instance, you go out and you don't have anything to eat, you eat tomato soup, that's fine. But if you're like putting tomatoes, chopping up tomatoes every single day and putting it in stuff, then that's not recommended. Okay? Now fruits to favor, apples. But you had a question?
Oh, I was also wanted to know about the grains to eat in the
Yeah,
summer.
the next
That's
slide.
right, okay.
Okay, so fruits to favor. Apples, avocados, berries, cherries, coconut, cranberries. And the berries which I'm mentioning should be sweet in taste, not the sour berries. Okay? Cranberries, grapes, limes, mangoes, melons, pears, pineapples, plums, pomegranates, and prunes. Okay?
This is for the summer only.
Only summer, yeah, only summer. Any questions with fruit? And as I said, don't combine vegetables and fruits together. There's a big part called food combining in Ayurveda, and I'll get to it in detail if we have some time remaining after the presentation. Okay? Now, all these questions are already answered. Grains to favor. Barley, basmati rice, wheat, quinoa, amaranth, and oats. These are all ancient grains.
We're talking about brown rice, right? Not the white rice, because that has no, I mean, it's all.
You can eat both. The way I tell people to cook white rice is to cook it in a pot rather than cooking it in pressure cooker, so that the starch goes away. And then you have to add a lot of water, boil the rice in the water, and throw the water away and eat the rice.
Oh, not to cook it so that it absorbs all the water.
So it will so put more water than it will absorb. So for instance, you have to put, if you're making 1 cup of rice, put like about 6 cups of water, and then boil the rice till it cooks, and then throw away the water and eat the rice. So all the starch is removed, all the heavy part of rice is removed.
Because I know growing up, we learned that the best way you know how to cook rice is if after you cook
Right.
each piece is separate, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's hard. So you just put in the right amount of water.
Right, that's good cooking, but not healthy cooking.
I believe in South India traditionally.
They
that's
cook
how
it
they
that
have
way.
it.
Absolutely.
After the whole thing is boiled, they, I don't know what
Strain it.
Strain.
So it still separates, huh?
It still separates, yeah. Actually, it will separate in a better way than even cooking it in pressure
So it's like
cooker.
1 cup of water to 6 cups of water.
Yeah, and then like boil till the rice cooks.
How long do you have to boil it? 10 minutes or 15?
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes. And then it will depends on how much rice and water you have.
I mean, you can't cook that way in microwave.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no microwave. I usually recommend microwave only for reheating stuff.
Right, that's all I use. I can't.
Yeah. Cooking in microwave is not recommended.
Except corn on the cob is very good when you
Yeah.
put it in the microwave.
Yeah. Okay. Now legumes to flavor. Alsuki beans, black beans, garbanzo beans, mung beans. But if you have any vata diseases going on in your body, I usually tell to avoid all beans. Because beans are very vata heavy. You can have lentils or like mung beans, like smaller beans, like matki, moong. These are like smaller beans. So these smaller beans are fine, not the bigger. Garbanzo beans are the worst beans to eat if you're having vata disease.
You mean like arthritis?
Yeah. Like
Because that's
chole are the worst dish you can eat if you have a vata disease. Beans are very, very vata elevating. Yeah.
So then what would be your source of protein?
Mung beans, lentils, like masoor dal. There are so many dals in Indian cooking. Like masoor, moong, matki, like the smaller beans. Okay?
What about arhar? Arhar dal, the
Tur dal?
tur dal.
Tur dal is fine too. Soya beans and products. I'm not a big fan of soy products, but if you want to get protein here or there, tofu or like a little little bit of soya here or there is good. Like actual soya beans. Or the edamame beans, the green ones. Which you,
So khichdi is good then.
khichdi is awesome. Yeah, khichdi is very good. And split peas. Now, spices and garnishes to favor. What spices you can use? Basil, cardamoms.
One question, sorry.
Yes.
Split peas would not be good if you have.
Arthritis. Not eating them often.
So something like kadhi, in Gujaratis we make
Kadhi.
with, the besan.
Yeah, basin. Yeah.
Besan and yogurt.
So what you can do is add mung bean besan to it. Have you ever tried making besan of moong beans, moong dal? You can make a really good besan of moong dal. So just dry roast mung beans and put it in a blender and make like a powder, like besan powder, and use that instead of chickpea powder.
So you will get even in the Indian store as well.
Yeah, you get mung bean
Mung
besan.
bean paste.
Yeah. So that is better than using actual besan.
They make a lot of mung bean paste also.
Yeah, lettuce, right? Yeah.
Mug along with it, mug dal, along with it, kadhi. So
Now how about millet?
Millets are good.
Because you don't have it there, because that's what now you can get
Sure, millets are good.
bajra, rotlas and stuff in
Yeah.
puja. So I use that in the
So
morning.
what you can do is instead of eating, so bajra is more eaten than jawar. So during summer use more jawar than bajra.
I don't think there is much available, is it?
Jawar is easily available. Yeah, sorghum flour it's called, sorghum. Sorghum, S-O-R-G-H-U-M, sorghum flour it's called. So jawar is better than bajra for summer because bajra is very heating.
Bajra roti, we like it in the winter.
Right, because it's
I
very
know my mother used to, but I like now that we can get it. It's
Right.
bajra.
right. Now spices, basil, cardamom, cilantro, coriander, dill, fennel, lime, mint, parsley. These all are cooling spices. Okay. Now sweeteners, what you can use? Maple syrup, as I said, unrefined cane sugar, turbinado sugar is fine.
How about
Honey.
cloves?
Cloves are also heating. That's why they are not mentioned on the spice list. These are the only, there are very few spices which are cooling in nature, and these are the only spices which are cooling in nature.
So cilantro, turmeric what?
Turmeric is fine because it's astringent, it's fine, and it's anti-inflammatory, so it is antiseptic. So actually I recommend using turmeric every day in your cooking because it's very, very good, healthy spice. Oils to favor: coconut oil, olive oil, and sunflower oil. And animal products that you eat fish which is freshwater fish, that is white fishes more than salmon, which are like heavy oily fishes. Poultry, that is chicken or turkey, eat white meat more than red meat.
So you do not recommend salmon?
No, salmon is very, during summer, it's a very heavy, it's very oily. When you eat salmon, it's like creamy, right? It's very oily and it's very heavy to digest. That's why, like tilapia is a better fish than salmon. Yeah?
What about makka?
Corn.
Corn.
Is because you get fresh sweet corn. The fresh sweet corn is better. The dried corn or popcorn is not better during summer. Okay. So that if you're roasting like fresh sweet corn, but again, if you have vata disease, not to eat that a lot. Like a little bit of sweet corn here or there once in a while is fine. But corn is also very vata avoiding.
And makka atta roti. No,
Not
in the summer.
You can eat it here or there, not every day.
Not in the summer.
Not in the summer, no.
Yeah, that's the only time you get fresh corn.
Right.
How about mustard oil?
It's very heating, not during summers.
So then even applying it to your body is not, because it absorbs right through the skin.
Right. So coconut oil is better for summer to apply if you're applying it on your body. Prefer coconut oil during summers, and during winter mustard or sesame oil because they both are very and you'll feel like calm or soothed because during summer you'll feel a lot of heat going on in your body if you apply those oils. Okay, coconut oil, whereas coconut oil is cooling in nature, so it will like make you cool and calm. Okay? Now drinks for summer. Okay? Now what should we drink? Because it's summer, because of the heat, you feel like drinking water all the time. So I usually tell my clients, instead of drinking just plain water, try to be creative with your water. So water, you can infuse the water with mint, lime, or little raw sugar. You were asking about herbal teas. So herbal teas as peppermint, licorice, fennel, or rose are fine. Actually, I forgot to mention here. Do you know gulkand? It's like a jam made of rose petals. Eating 1 teaspoon of, if you're diabetic, please don't do this. But if you're not, you can eat 1 teaspoon of gulkand every day in the morning during summers. That's very, very cooling and very, very soothing. Okay? So gulkand every day in the morning is very helpful. A sweet lassi, but again, lassi doesn't mean like actual Punjabi lassi. It's like very heavy to digest. Lassi in this country means like mostly like buttermilk, like Indian buttermilk, but you can add sweet to it.
So you're not talking about kefir?
No.
K-E-F-I-R, that
Kefir, no kefir, no, that's not it. Fresh fruit juices, as I said, here or there, like are fine, but not on every day basis. A fruit eaten whole is always recommended.
So you would not recommend putting in some watermelon and making juice out of it without putting anything else?
Yeah, sure, you can make juice, but if you're making juice, even if you're making juice of watermelon, try to drink it, don't strain it.
Right.
Okay? Then if you're
With the
drink,
pulp.
right, then with the pulp is awesome. You can drink it. But if you're like, I've seen people they're juicing it and straining it, then you're getting nothing out of the fruit, right? So try to do that. Then another good thing is Indian buttermilk, like a chas or takka. Okay? During summer is the best thing. So what you have to do is take 1 cup of yogurt, add 6 cups of water to it. It should be really, really diluted, like white liquid. And then add cumin powder to it, a little bit of fresh coriander, a little bit of rock or pink salt, mint leaves, and enjoy it with meals or throughout the day. Okay, but buttermilk should not be taken at night or at bedtime because that increases caffeine.
So would that replace the water requirement for your body?
Yeah, because it has a lot of water in it. Yeah, absolutely, and it's also good for digestion. It will kindle your fire because it's like a probiotic, right?
So would you recommend the Greek yogurt or would you just recommend
You
canned
can do
yogurt?
any yogurt is fine. It's fine.
Homemade will be better than.
Homemade is always preferred. In this country it's difficult, so like,
Right.
yeah, you can get,
It's difficult, but it's
it's a tedious task,
It's,
it's not easy.
So if it is really hot, so do you recommend having the shikanji thing, like lime plus water?
Like lemonade?
Yeah, like lemonade or
that is
with
sugar.
salt and pepper,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
salt
sure.
and pepper, not with the sugar.
Yeah. You can have that. But instead of lemon, use lime. Okay. Khus drink. Have you ever heard about khus? It's like green grass. It's called vetiver, and you get khus drink at any Indian grocery store. I think I saw it at Whole Foods too, maybe. So khus drink is like a thick, dark green colored liquid. You can mix that with water and then drink it. It's a very cooling, soothing drink. Tender coconut water is very good during summers. Sugarcane juice, well, in this country we don't get it, but in India now, like as soon as summer approaches, you'll get like fresh juice.
Oh yeah,
sugar.
that's fun.
It's like really yummy. Lime infused water. Traditional drinks like sherbet prepared from Indian gooseberry, that is amla, kokum or raw mangoes. Okay, so coconut sherbet is also good. And alcohol, if you're drinking any alcohol, then only beer during this time, because beer is the only alcohol which is cooling because it's made from hops. Okay?
How about the wine?
How about?
Wine?
Wine is heating in nature, so not during summers. Okay? But during winters it's fine, but not during summers. Okay? Summer lifestyle. So how should we live during summer? Summer lifestyle. How Ayurveda recommends to live during summer. So first, Ayurveda says Ayurvedic sunbathing. This is really good. So take a 10 to 15 minutes walk in early sunrise. Stimulates Sadhu Pitta. So as I said, Pitta is a dosha, right? So every dosha has 5 subtypes. So these subtypes live in different parts of your body and work there. So Sadhu Pitta lives in your skin, or it's in your skin, and it regulates the temperature, it regulates your complexion and stuff like that. So that's Sadhu Pitta. So if you walk 10 to 15 minutes, it will stimulate vitamin D production, serotonin, melatonin, and elevate your mood. It's very good. Ayurvedic sunbathing. Now, how does Ayurveda recommend you dress during summer? So you have to wear light, breathable, thin cotton clothes. Preferably, favoring colors are whites, grays, blues, purples, or greens, because these are all cooling colors. Whenever you look at a person wearing white, you feel better to look at that person during summer, because it's opposite of what color you see all the time outside. Okay? Stay hydrated. Add a little salt to your food to compensate for the sweating. If you're sweating a lot, you can add a little bit of salt. I prefer iodine salt, or rock salt, or pink salt, more than using regular salt. Okay? Be with nature, stay protected from the heat, obviously. Afternoon nap is recommended in summer, not in any other season. The reason this is because during summer the nights are short and the days are long, so we tend to sleep less at night during summer. That's why to compensate for the sleep, Ayurveda recommends to sleep during summers, like day naps. But during winters, if you sleep during the day, your kapha will start to increase, because sleep is a very similar quality to kapha, which is stable, not move, heavy. So it will increase your kapha during winter if you're taking day naps. Moisturize daily. Some people feel they don't require moisturizer that much during summers as of winters. But during summer also, because of that heat, you're losing moisture, you're sweating a lot. That's why Ayurveda recommends to moisturize daily. But instead of using moisturizer, what Ayurveda recommends is to use equal parts of castor oil and coconut oil and mix it in a glass bottle and apply that to protect your skin, and apply that before you bathe.
So would you have to warm it up? Because
Yeah.
coconut oil is always...
Yeah. You have to warm it up. Give it a warm bath, or hold it under a warm tap water, and then it will start to melt, and apply that before you bathe.
No, I mean when you're mixing equal parts of castor oil.
Yeah. Melt it.
Stove just
No. You're never supposed to melt oil directly on the stuff. You have to put it in a warm water bath. So first, boil the water, and then put the coconut oil in a little bit of bowl, and put that bowl in the boiling water. Okay?
Because 1 cup of liquid coconut oil is different from 1 cup of solid.
Right. That's why
the
liquid.
liquid.
Yeah. Okay. Now aromatherapy. I don't know if I have never checked in the Indian grocery store here, but if you get sandalwood essential oil, that is very, very soothing and calming. Actually, I have a sandalwood spray that I spray during summers. It's so calming. Like I've gotten compliments because it smells so beautiful. But if you get sandalwood on your temples or eyebrows and like wrist or belly, it's It's very calming. It's very cooling oil.
I use
Before,
that for soap. Sandalwood.
sandalwood soap is also very cooling. Yeah, even I'm using sandalwood right now.
What I use all the time.
But yeah, then again, sandalwood is not recommended in fall and winter.
Ah,
Yeah. So because it's cooling, it will dry out your skin more during winters. Before bed, wash and dry the feet and massage them with light coating of brahmi oil to ground your energy and draw that heat up. Brahmi is also cooling in nature. It's a herb, it's an Ayurvedic herb, and it's very cooling in nature. So it will ground you down and put you to bed easily.
you can
Bedtime,
get that. You can get that at the store.
yeah, you can get it at the store, or there is a website called Banyan Botanicals. You'll get it online as well. Or even if you type in Google Brahmi oil, you'll find 100 websites. So, bedtime, usually Ayurveda recommends to retire by 10 p.m. or maximum 11 p.m. If you're retiring before that, that's great. But people tend not to
Yeah,
sleep.
that's too early.
Yeah, because what happens now, since we are on this topic, Ayurveda has specific times to do specific things during the day. The reason why, as our doshas change with the seasons, our doshas also change with the movement of the sun during the day. That's why Ayurveda recommends to eat lunch, and lunch should be the heaviest meal according to Ayurveda, and it should be eaten between noon to 1. That is when the sun is on the top of our head, and that is when your digestive fire is strongest during the day. That's why Ayurveda recommends to eat lunch between noon to 1 and breakfast between say 7:30 to 8:30 or max 9, not later than that. And dinners during like summers a little bit late is fine, but during winters at least between 6 to 8 p.m. anywhere like 6 to 7:30 during winters actually.
Because they
Okay.
always recommend, right, that your breakfast should be your main.
Heaviest meal, yeah, but Ayurveda doesn't recommend that. Ayurveda says your lunch should be the heaviest. And then why I was saying sleep before 10, because after 10 your pitta starts kicking in, and once your pitta will kick in, it won't let you sleep. Eat 2 p.m. at least, like 1:30 to 2. But then what happens, if you're awake late, your pitta and vata will start increasing in your body, and the symptoms will go way beyond, and all the doshas will go off balance if you're not sleeping on time, because that is when that dosha. So before the pitta kicks in, your liver starts to metabolize stuff at night at 10 p.m. or so. That's when you should be rested and not doing stuff, because then that it won't be able to do its function properly. If you're awake and doing things, you're moving around or you're watching TV or doing stuff, you're still active, your system is active, it's not resting. So that's why the doshas, in order to work at their specific times, you need to be rested. So for instance, for the pitta to work at night, you should be rested. Okay?
Does Ayurveda have a certain amount of sleep that you should have?
Yeah, at least 6 to 8 hours is recommended, not less than that, because a body cannot function properly for less than 6 hours of sleep.
Some people do that. I know. I have for a year, I don't really need 4 hours of sleep and I function better.
Right. I mean, you might be feeling you function better, but your body isn't. So inside your doshas aren't. But you might. So there is a thing called satmya in Ayurveda. If you're doing a wrong thing for a longer period of time, your body gets used to it. Doesn't mean it's good for you. Okay? It's called satmya. Okay? And it's called, what you're doing is called upasatmya. So if you're doing the wrong thing for a longer periods of time, for long years or few years, then your body tends to get used to it. Okay? But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy for you. Okay? Exercise at appropriate time. Avoid exercising between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. appropriate intensity. Ayurveda recommends doing vyayam or exercise, adhita shakti. It's called adhita shakti. That means 50 to 70% of your strength. I see people going to gym and like burning out, and like you cannot even walk the next day. That's not recommended in Ayurveda. Ayurveda says you have to do adhita shakti vyayam. That is half or 70% of your strength. Or yoga you can do. Moon salutations. Solar plexus tends to hold heat during summers. So doing moon salutations are recommended. Favor asanas that massage, strengthen and bring out the abdominal region. So cat pose or cow pose or cobra, boat pose, side openers, twists. Cooling self-referencing poses such as child pose or forward bends are beneficial. Finish with shavasana. Okay. Meditation, what you can do is like full moon or chanting Gayatri mantra. Is beneficial during summers. Now, herbal remedies for some common summer problems. Sunburn. If you have sunburn somewhere, just rub aloe vera gel on your skin or make a paste of fresh cilantro and apply that, the cilantro pulp on the sunburn. It's very cooling and soothing. If you have a heat stroke or like your head is hurting because of the heat, add 1 to 1.5 teaspoon of rock sugar to water, about a cup or 1.5 cup of water, and drink that throughout the day. Okay, apply onion juice to your palms or soles. It will put out the heat from your system. Nosebleed, if you're having nosebleeds, I've seen people as soon as the heat goes up in the body, their nose starts to bleed. Pour cool water on your head and put Bermuda grass juice in your nostrils. So Bermuda grass, I don't know if you get it here, it's called durva, what we use for pujas. We offer durva to God, right? That grass, the grass we offer to God. The juice of that grass is very beneficial in nosebleeds. Skeeter bites, apply equal part of tea tree oil and neem oil and to the itchy bug bites. It will go. It's a natural bug repellent. So even if you're going out somewhere and you're applying neem oil to your body, mosquitoes will tend to stay away from you. Jet lag. So jet lag mostly this is for poor digestion. Whenever we are traveling for longer periods of time, our digestive system is the first to get hampered because it doesn't understand what's going on. Like you're used to eating at a specific time during the day, and then you're sleeping. If you're sleeping that time, your digestive system is completely confused. So just to avoid that, mix 1 part of cumin powder and dried mint and 1/4 part of ginger root and take 1 teaspoon of fruit of light. What herbal supports you can take? Amlaki, these are some herbs, Ayurvedic herbs you can regularly take during summer, but I still do not recommend taking them until you consult an Ayurvedic physician because you don't know what your pregnancy is. Amlaki, Brahmi, Pumyamlaki, Guduji, Kutki, Neem and Shatavari. These are the few herbs which are beneficial during the summer season. Okay? And we're almost done. So these are some of the recipes for summer. I think I'll just forward these slides to you. Instead of reading this out, it'll be better. And then, any questions?
One is about what are the pranayams and which for summer, and second is any mudras for summer if you know.
Yeah, sure. So the first mudra is Adi Mudra.
Okay.
This mudra is beneficial. Jnana Mudra. This mudra is beneficial. Pranayama. Shitali pranayama, you know Shitali? If you roll your tongue and breathe through your mouth, that's a very cooling pranayama. So doing Shitali or even Brahmari is very good during summers. Okay? Ujjayi is good because it's opposite to so victory breath, breathing through your throat. This is good. And Pastrika is not recommended, or Kapalbhati is not recommended. Kapalbhati you can do actually in any season, but Pastrika is not good because it's very strong, fiery pranayama. That's about it.
If you walk during afternoon, is it better? If for exercise, maybe you walk 1 hour
Yeah,
around 2-3
preferably
o'clock.
after 4 o'clock, not before that, because the sun is so bright. After 4 or 5 actually. Now the days are so long, it's bright outside until like 4 8 p.m. But then walking is recommended at least during early morning before 10 a.m. or after 4 or 5 p.m. Not during the afternoons. Any more questions?
Thank you.
No?
Thank you.
Thank you.